made them aware that we have to build this from scratch. And it's going to cost money, but it's going to take time. So we are going to agree on a non-disclosure. We are now going to agree on the terms of reference. And after that, we can discuss on the contract and the way it's supposed to go. So as for the costing and everything, records are being kept. Everything is being looked at in this complete form. As I'm speaking to you, the World Bank is in town. They came with their experts. They evaluated the system we have from top to bottom. They are also going to help us with the consultants to go through it to make sure that the best practices are adhered to, and at the right time, the proper thing is done.
So is it in the interest of UCG to actually use the software for your revenue collection?
Mr. Chair, it's paramount. One of the main things we identified was the check fraud in the system. With this system, the money hits the Bank of Ghana RTGS platform, the real-time gross settlement. You cannot delete a transaction. The only thing you can do is to pass a correction. So with all of this, there's proper accountability of every PESWA. And, when it comes to the PESWA game, it's volume before it will add up to make like a whole seed. So our revenues through this platform has gone up, especially with the implementation of the cashless system, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, so I will urge you to speed out the process. So at least there will be an agreement, a contract between you and the developer, so that you know the cost that you have to pay as a company.
We will do that, Mr. Chair.
All right, on that note, you are discharged.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Let's have Netco. Netco. After Netco, I'll take Ghana Gas. Netco, kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
How are you?
Hey, Dakwa. Netco, kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. My name is Osman Ayuba, Managing Director, Netco.
Alexander Otulabi, the Director of Finance.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Hashim Idrisu, Director Commercial.
I'm Emmanuel Lopo, Acting Director, Internal.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Your financial performance, that you keep making losses, Netco. From between 2021 and 2022, your losses increased by 278%. Let me ask you this simple question. Managing Director, in your opinion, when are you going to turn the losses into profit?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have developed a 5-year strategic plan, and in that plan, we have put in some milestones on how we would, over time, overturn the losses. And so you asked for my opinion. If it's about my opinion, I think after 5 years, we'll be able to break even and start to make some profits.
All right. Let's go to paragraph 383. Honorable Dakwa.
Thank you, Chairman. So your issue has to do with long outstanding receivables. The review of your company's receivables disclosed that a total amount of 1.4, is it? Hey, this is billion. Wow. So it revealed that an amount of 1.4 billion was due from power customers as of 31st December 2021. They further noted that the power sales receivables increased by 13% from the prior year. Okay. Please, can you tell us what the reason is why you weren't able to recover this amount from your customers?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Indeed, the receivables is what you stated, the 1.4 billion. This is actually receivables over a very long time, resulting from consumers of the power, including, but not limited to, the MMDAs as well as the private sector. What have we done so far? We've worked closely with Ministry of Finance and Energy, and thankfully, government has made in a number of payments to reduce these receivables. And we've received over, I think, 575 million. And we've also done some revenue mobilization drive, which yielded about 140 million. Recently, just about 2 weeks ago, we also received another credit note from government to the tune of 34 million. All these have been made available to the auditors for them to validate. We are also installing smart split prepayment meters, just so as we can reduce the accumulation of these debts. So because these debts come about because largely they are credit meters. So once we begin to replace the credit meters over time with prepayment meters, at least we can put a stop to the accumulation of this debt. Thank you.
All right, so I'm happy you are putting that in place, okay. But right now we are really looking at the 1.4 billion. Because this money can be used for a lot of developments in this country. And so out of the 1.4 billion, how much has been recovered and how much is still outstanding?
Honorable Chair, as I've indicated, all those amounts I've previously mentioned are monies that we have received.
That's fine. Give me the total. So I want to know the total outstanding out of 1.4 billion.
As we speak now, the outstanding is 1.3 billion. But let me put a caveat here. If all these monies that we have received were not received, I'm sure the accumulation would have been more than this. Let's not forget that people continue to consume, all the ministries continue to consume, but government is making efforts. And so I think that we are doing our best to reduce the...
Okay, first of all, auditors, can you confirm the amounts that is outstanding is really 1.3 billion?
Mr. Chairman, the amount outstanding as at 31st December 2023 was 1.322 billion. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you have admitted to the fact that you've put measures in place to ensure that this doesn't continue in the future. However, I just want to state that 1.3 billion is still a huge amount. You came here for 1.4, and as of now it's 1.3. So really, in terms of monetary value, not much has been done to recover the monies that were owed government. And so please, I'm just appealing to you that you should, whatever efforts it is, double it up. Okay? Thank you. Chairman, I yield to you.
Honorable Akwesi.
Chairman, just a clarification on the table 20. The first account name reads as this P Sales Debt Control. Can you enlighten us on that account? Because that account forms almost about 90% of your debt accumulation.
Yes, that's the one that that's the power sales debt. So the receivable is a good number of items, including power sales, accounts receivable from staff debtors and all of that. But this one, the power sales debt control is the power sales figure. the one that is the power, but the other one is the subsidies, but it doesn't longer exist again, the 179 million. So the concentration is the power sales one. That is the chunk of our receivables. And that is what we are saying that we have done we've put in a lot of efforts to actually reduce them. If you look at the 1.4 billion that has come to the 1.3, on the face value, one might think that we haven't done much. But it also means if the 1.4 remained 1.4 from 2022 to 2023, it means that all our power sales will be able to receive 100%. So that's an indication that we're actually receiving a lot of money. Like I said, government has paid in a lot, and we are still following up to collect these monies. And we're also doing the metering project to reduce the accumulation of this debt.
Honorable Mutala.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to find out of the 1.3 billion, how much of it is owed by state agencies? That is one. Two, I know that there were some measures put in place in northern Ghana, particularly in Tamale, to provide new meters, and which indeed met very stiff resistance. And I know that you involved some security agencies, which was roundly condemned by many people. So we want to find out how much were you able to retrieve as a result of the new metering system, and what percentage of the 1.3 billion is owed by state agencies?
Mr. Chair, we don't have the breakdown of the 1.3 readily available, but I think between the public and the private sector, it's about 50% each. So when it comes to the metering project in Tamale, yes, we have had to resort to the military and police to support us to do this metering project, and it's yielding some results. And with some of you also speaking to the people to understand that this commodity is not for free, they have to pay for it. It's really yielding some results. As I indicated, we did some revenue mass, we got some 140 million, but that's with respect to credit meters. But for specifically how much has been accrued to us as a result of the new metering system, we don't have that information available or readily available.
So it means that the state owes almost 700 million.
Correct.
Or if it is 50-50 between the private and then the 700 million.
About that, yes.
How do you retrieve that which is owed by government itself?
Okay, like I indicated, Mr. Chair, we've been working with the Minister of Finance and Energy, and a good number of times they give us a number of credit notes. So as recently as 2 weeks ago, we got one for 34 million Ghana cedis. Prior to that, we received 575 million Ghana cedis. So government is actually trying to reduce this indebtedness to us.
Paragraph 389, Honorable Akwesi Konedu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this has to do with the long list of outstanding abandoned vehicles and motorbikes. You have about 57 vehicles and 19 motorbikes that are abandoned, according to the auditors. And they stand in the books of your transport department and on the records of your board of survey. In your response, you said you are seeking approval from the Ministry of Finance to either dispose of them or find ways to deal or recover some of them to be able to use them. So what is the status of all of these vehicles and motorbikes as at now?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm glad to indicate that we've so far received the approval from the Minister of Finance for the disposal, and we have since disposed the border vehicles, and we made the evidence available to our auditors.
Auditors, can you please confirm that these vehicles, as shown in your report, has all been sold, and also the revenue accrued from it deposited same?
Mr. Chairman, out of the 57 vehicles, 40 were auctioned, and the money is duly received. Then out of the 21 motorbikes, 10 were also auctioned. They've now gotten the approval to auction the rest. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, auditors. Mr. Chairman, that will be all. They've taken steps to dispose of all of these abandoned vehicles.
That'll be all for Netco. You are discharged.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ghana Gas.
What?
Kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. Ben Asante, CEO, Ghana Gas.
Jeremiah Adochum, General Manager Finance.
Rene Nelson, General Manager Accounting.
Leonard Akufo-Kwapon, Accounting Manager.
Thank you very much for coming. The first one on the financial statement, paragraph 485, Honorable Vice Chairman will take it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Now we are looking at your financial performance, and 2021 and 2022. Your net profit went from 437 million to 4 million Ghana cedis. That's a drop of 99%. What accounted for this, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll allow the General Manager Finance to give the details of that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We saw net profit decline of about 99%, and it's largely attributable to the fact that in the year 2022, the foreign exchange in USD terms didn't help us a lot. So we saw some huge or sharp depreciation of the CD around that era, and this actually accounts for the differences that you are seeing over there. So we got really hit by the USD in that year.
Yeah, let me add to that, Mr. Chairman. We recall that most of our maintenance equipment are actually imported, and it attracts significant foreign exchange. But services are paid for in cities here. Services in terms of gathering of the gas, processing of it, and also transportation of it. So any change in foreign exchange really could have an adverse effect if it's in the negative direction.
So if you look at the exchange gains and losses, in 2022, because of the issues with the dollar, we lost 213 million just because of that exchange. Let's go down to your the financial position, which is 1.1. 2021 to it was still 1.1. This means that you will have issues with your financial obligation in the short term. Has this position changed?
Mr. Chairman, it hasn't changed much. Ghana Gas actually makes its money from services that we provide. And if you look at our power, the power value chain for the country, we are in the first gate. The first gate is we are part of the fuel providers. Then that fuel is, of course, used for generation of power, and then transmission of power, and then ultimately distribution, which is done by ECG. Expectedly, we would want ECG to repatriate some of the money back to all of us in the value chain. When that doesn't happen regularly or frequently, then you will have those shortfalls.
I see when it comes to finance. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I should add that, and we've been in existence since 2015. But since the inception of the cash waterfall, which was in April of 2020, things had improved a bit. But certainly we have a huge legacy that needs to be addressed as well.
Okay. If you look at your finance cost, 2021 it was 74 million. But then when it came to 2022, the cost jumped to 745 million. What caused that?
Yeah,
so, again, this is what, Mr. Chair, this is what I alluded to earlier on, which actually led to the degradation in our net profit. So actually, if you look at our payable position, because we do business mostly in USD, anytime there's a negative or adverse movement in Forex, it really hits us very hard. And finance cost is the place where we house this cost. Thank you.
So if you look at the finance costs and then the exchange losses, that made up for a lot of the losses that Ghana Gas made in 2022.
Mr. Chair, very well.
So we need to protect this CD dollar thing. All right, Mr. Chairman,
Absolutely.
I'm done.
All right, let's go to paragraph 495. It's our locker fund. 10 million with the Liberty Asset Management. The auditors disclosed that the management invested 10 million with the Liberty Asset Management Limited. And so, and this is one of the companies that have been affected under the banking sector or financial sector cleanup. Yeah. The company runs the risk of losing this 10 million, but there's an interest component that amounted to 847,000. So it becomes 10.847 million. So you raise the risk of losing this money, which will negatively affect the company's liquidity position. Can you tell the committee the status of this investment you made in the company?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we cannot argue the position of the Auditor General. Indeed, that is the case. It's also worth noting that Ghana Gas has got several relationships with a lot of financial institutions. And the criteria that we use for assessing their viability and their risk profile has been the same over the last 9 years that we've been in operation. This is the first time that we've experienced something like this. Now, we didn't sit back when we realized that Liberty Asset Management Limited has actually lost their operating license. The first step we took was to apprise SEC, which is the State Enterprise Commission, of the situation, and also apply to the administrator of those who were part of the banking sector cleanup, of which Liberty was. And the administrator in this case being GCB Capital with their receiver PwC, that this is the situation that we have with Liberty. And we are in line, Mr. Chairman, to be paid. First year, 20%, and then the second year, 80% of what is owed. And we would let the auditor know when this comes through. Thank you.
So, you have an assurance from the liquidator or that's PwC?
Absolutely.
Yes,
they wrote to us in October.
Auditors, are you aware of this, that the receiver has recognized Ghana Gas as one of the entities that will receive anything that have been raised from the assets of this company.
Honorable Chair, we are aware of correspondence between Ghana Gas and GCB Capital Amalgamated Mutual Fund. So we are aware of those correspondence.
Well, this is one of the issues that I spoke about the last time, that the financial sector cleanup, that the finance minister came to the house and told the whole country the cost of the cleanup. That figure is actually not the cost. There are other associated costs, like this one we are just facing here. It's a cost. And not only Ghana Gas, many, many, many companies. And then individuals. If you put all of them together, the cost will be too much. So it's something that is beyond Ghana Gas. So only hope that the receiver will do something about it and then pay Ghana Gas the 10.8 million. The next one is paragraph. Yes, Honorable Isaac.
Chairman, I wanted to find out, did you have a policy not to invest in non-banks?
No, not non-banks. We deal with financial institutions. They don't have to be a bank.
Okay.
All right. Paragraph 506, Honorable Roxon.
Chairman, thank you very much. CEO, you are welcome. And Happy New Year. The case of the auditors is that you have some outstanding receivables, some stretching as far back as 4 years. It's very simple. I won't belabor it. Their recommendation is for you to take steps to get these monies in. As much as $741 million. So have you gotten these monies? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chairman. This indeed is a big one, and it speaks to the legacy debt in the sector. Mr. Chairman, at the risk of sounding repetitive, let me take you again through that power value chain. And again, we fall in the gate of fuel providers. Then that fuel, it's used, of course, for power generation. So that goes to the power generators. Power generators generate the power.
CEO.
Yes.
With all due respect, we want to know if you have made some efforts.
Yes, indeed we have.
Exactly.
Okay.
So tell us the further steps you are taking to get these monies in.
Yeah.
So we want to hear how much has come in so far.
So we're talking from 2015, since we've been in operation, commercial operation, to the end of the audit period, which is December 2022. The total that was outstanding to us was about $1.1 billion. Now, steps we've taken to recover, or at least try to reduce that overage, is we visited with the Minister of Finance, and they converted about 400 million of this into equity in the gas plant infrastructure as well as the associated pipelines. So what is outstanding is really what you are seeing here. And we're also talking to them to see whether we can actually convert what is left to total equity in the infrastructure. Mr. Chairman, if we do, Ghana Gas will be owning the entire Western gas infrastructure, which comprise the gas processing plant as well as the associated pipelines stretching all the way to from Atuabo to Takoradi. So these are steps that we are taking to actually own the infrastructure. Okay. And to add to that, we will still be having probably about 300 million outstanding, which we intend to pursue.
Okay. So you are saying that about $400 million has been converted to equity in the infrastructure. Now, has Minister of Finance and your board reduced this into writing?
Absolutely. In fact, the Minister of Finance has put this in writing, signed by the Honorable Minister.
And so you have a copy?
Yes, we do.
Okay. The committee want to have a copy of this for our perusal.
Absolutely.
Then for the committee wants to know who owns the gas infrastructure now, the portion that it's outside the equity. Which entity owns it now?
So that will be the government of Ghana through the Minister of Finance. As to date, I think there's about 457 million that the Minister of Finance, on behalf of the government of Ghana, owns. Yes. And this, if you recall,
in addition to what has been reduced to equity?
That's correct. So if
so that will take it to in excess of 800 million.
857. That's correct.
$1 million.
Yes.
Okay. So, in terms of timelines, what timelines are we looking at? No, it's a GOG policy, but we don't want this to feature in next year's audit report.
I understand, Honorable. Mr. Chairman, the board is looking at getting this resolved by half this year. So by the middle of this year.
By the middle of this year. Thank you. That's refreshing. Have you brought this matter to the attention of the auditors, the portion that has been reduced to equity by finance and your board? The 400 million. Because that portion does not reflect in the report. We should be saying that the extent of the exposure is about $1.1 billion.
Yes.
And that 400 of that has subsequently been converted into equity, and it's a matter of record.
Absolutely. Now, if we haven't, and I'm not sure whether the team has liaised that with the auditors, but if we haven't, we certainly will do that. Auditor, may you help us with whether you've received it?
Honorable Chair, the 400 million that they are talking about, yes, that is not what we flagged. We flagged the outstanding of 741,929,769 USD. The outstanding, that's what we flagged. But the earlier one, because it has been converted, we didn't flag it as our issue. Thank you.
Chairman, I asked this because of the nature of the recommendations of the auditors and the observation. And this is what they say in paragraph 512. On the issue of the other receivables, management has taken steps to recover the funds and payments are being received. In that respect, management has engaged both the Minister of Energy and the Minister of Finance to explore economically viable ways to reduce the legacy debt. So, given the content of your explanation, I think that if you apprise them with the steps you are taking, then they would have been guided in the nature and manner of the recommendation. They would have indicated that steps are being taken to convert the entire exposure into equity, and that would have ended the issue. So liaise with them and let's resolve this matter. Chairman, thank you very much.
So noted, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Let me take it from there and continue. The VRA, which is being captured here, does it mean that VRA is owing Ghana Gas this amount? Because you mentioned that government converted 400 out of 1.1 or 1.2 into equity. But in the report here, the amount that is being owed, it is not government of Ghana that is written here by VRA. So I want that clarification. Is it VRA or government of Ghana?
It's VRA, Mr. Chairman. Ghana Gas has a contractual relationship with VRA in the value chain. So Ghana Gas actually gives the gas to VRA for power generation. But you recall that it goes through a chain, and at the end of that chain, from ECG, most of the power that really it's sold, I am informed, is given to government entities. So that's why Ministry of Finance came in to say that, okay, we accept this, and our part would be that 400 that we will give you.
So the $400 million, which is now converted into equity, which percentage does that amount to, which Ghana Gas is owning now? That 400 million, what percentage of equity of the company is that 400 million?
Yeah, that's almost about 50%. I mean, we are looking at a total amount of about 857 and 400 of that.
Okay.
Just about.
So it means that Ghana Gas now owns about 50% of the gas infrastructure.
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. And if we go ahead and convert in total equity,
the Ghana Gas will
the 745 will fully own the infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's a matter of government transferring the ownership of the company to Ghana Gas. And the government also owns Ghana Gas again. You own the Ghana Gas. Because the Ghana Gas is for government of Ghana.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So these are just administrative paperwork.
Mm-hmm. But I think what would happen, though, is that instead of paying some money to the government through tariff, because government, if government owns part of the infrastructure, and we get tariff to defray some of that capital expenditure, that money, that portion should go to government. But if that is fully Ghana Gas's, the entire tariff comes to Ghana Gas, then we just pay dividends to the government.
And when you supply the gas to VRA or to the IPP or whatever, which they are not able to pay, and eventually a government of Ghana that will take the cost again, what will happen after that? Now they have equity that they are transferring to the company. If they don't have any equity again to transfer to the company, what happens?
Okay, so, Mr. Chairman, again, VRA would tell you, and I don't know when they're coming to see you, but they will tell you that
they are behind you, VRA.
The power that they generate and give to Gridco, they are not being paid.
They are supposed to be here.
And Gridco will be telling you that the power that they transmit to ECG, they are not being paid. And ECG would have a similar story to tell you that what we give to all those off-takers, including a host of government entities, we are not being paid. So that's why the government stepped in. So we're actually looking forward. And I call this more of a cyclical debt than a legacy debt.
All right, thank you. That'll be all for you. You are discharged.
Thank you very much.
Let's have GMPC. Yes, can we swear in the CEO? When I say, are you add your name?
I swear by the Almighty God that the evidence I shall give before this committee touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Wilhelmina Samoa, Chief Director, Ministry of Energy.
Mr. Chairman, Poko Arinia Dankwa, Managing Director, GMPC.
Mr. Chairman, I am Benjamin Kweku Akolache, Deputy Managing Director in charge of Finance and Administration, GMPC.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Alex Prempe Kwati, General Manager Projects.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Ebenezer Basi. I'm a Manager Accounting Reporting.
And Mr. Chairman, my name is Victor Kofi Sono Ata, General Manager Engineering, GMPC.
You're welcome. Mr. Speaker, you're welcome. Mr. Speaker, you can see too. All right, so we'll start with paragraph 404. Honorable Isaac Opoku.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, GMPC will look at your financial performance. And according to the auditors, you made a profit of 10.6 million in 2021, representing 106.5 improvements over the previous year. So that is highly commendable. And in terms of revenue also, you had an increase of 23.5%. And according to the auditors, it was mainly due to 47.5% or $94.2 million increase in net share of Ghana Gas. So in 2020, what was your share? Did you get a question?
Honorable, please, can you repeat the last part?
The revenue increment of 47.5% in 2021. I want to find out, in 2020, what was your share? Because you made loss in 2020. So I guess your share, your net share of Ghana's, of the gas sales was very low. Is that the case?
Honorable, I'll let my financial officer answer this.
Mr. Chairman, we did better in 2021 as a result of average price of crude. If you compare that to 2020, we were averaging about $38 per barrel during the COVID era. But in 2021, we had a higher average price, and that showed up our revenue. That is the main cause, Mr. Chairman.
All right. And in terms of current assets, it also rose by almost 40%. So that is also good. But liabilities, you recorded 43.4
That was a decrease, so that is also okay. But non-current liabilities, you recorded 114.9 increase over the previous year. What explanation can you offer for that?
Mr. Chairman, you recall that in that year we had a geochal acquisition and the Minister of Finance granted us a facility of about $164 million, and that showed up the long-term liability. That's as a result of the geochal acquisition. Chairman.
All right, Chairman, in terms of their financial position, it's not bad. The ratio is 2.2 to 1 compared to 0.9 to 1 the previous year. So in terms of liquidity, they are okay. So, Chairman, in terms of their financial performance, I think they are not doing too badly.
Paragraph 414, Honorable Johnson.
Thank you, Chairman. That is management issues. GMPC, your corporation's reserve and resource reporting policy indicates that all internally generated reserves and resources must be externally certified before use in generating resources. According to the auditors, in 2020, the reserves and resources statement reports were prepared by operations internally specialists. However, there was no independent, it was not independently checked by external experts and validated figures. So you were advised to put in place processes to ensure the reserves and resource statements are independently validated and externally verified. Please, have you taken these directives into consideration?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have. Since then, we have been able to acquire the services of RMG, Reservoir Management Group, which is an independent group of experts who have helped us shore up our reserves. Since then, at the end of this year, we finalized the assessment on the Inyira and Intumi reserves, which are now incorporated in our 2023 reserves. It's an ongoing exercise. It requires a lot of work, a lot of information, a lot of analysis. So we are still working on it. But we have taken action and we will continue to conform with what you've asked us to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. They have complied with the directive by the auditors. Thank you.
All right. The next one is paragraph 423. Honorable Ernest. Anim. 423. Unclassified disbursement from the Petroleum Holding Fund. So the disbursement from the Petroleum Holding Fund is governed by the law. That's Petroleum Revenue Management Act of 2011 at 815. The auditors noted that about $29.5 million disbursement from the Petroleum Holding Fund were not captured as either equity financing costs or net carried and participating interests. These were captured as direct claims on the various requests for funds on the petroleum revenue before disbursement or distribution were made in accordance with the Act. So the auditors could not ascertain the category under which this payment will fall. They therefore advise that management should ensure that these claims on the Petroleum Holding Fund are appropriately categorized in compliance with the provisions of the Act. So these payments which were made, totaling $29.5 million. The first one, which is Saltpond Field decommissioning fund, 11.8 million under Jubilee crude revenue, and then 10.5 million under 10 crude revenue, giving 22.3 million. Then GCB Bank Limited loan repayments, which is 7.2 million made under Sankofa. We want to know why. The auditors didn't say, but I'm asking, why did you make these payments before applying the formula of disbursement?
Mr. Chairman, I will allow my financial officer to answer, please.
Mr. Chairman, we recall that the government as a policy took a decision through Parliament to get the gas prices reduced and also abandon the take-or-pay policy. And that exercise brought in some costs that we had to treat it under equity finance, under the approval of the ministry. Same applies to the Sorpon decommissioning. We were asked to handle it and treat it as such. So, Mr. Chairman, in 2021, the auditors raised it. We explained to them, we resolved it. In 2022, it's no more an issue. The auditors have agreed, and it's not in the management letter of the 2022. So, Mr. Chairman, it inures the benefits of the nation, and the auditors have agreed, and it's no more in the 2022 audited accounts. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
But, Deputy CEO, the disbursement of the petroleum revenue is governed by the Act. So, if government took decision that resulted in this additional cost, why should you deduct it from the petroleum revenue or made a payment from petroleum revenue? It should be made from government.
Mr. Chairman, as I already explained, if you look at the auditor's notes, they quoted the law, section 16.2, and explain it. And we had to discuss with Minister of Finance, the ministry, and it's about application of cost. We felt, and at the meeting, we agreed that it should form part of the upstream activities that will affect the gas pricing and also the decommissioning. So it was an agreement that was made, and decided to charge it against the petroleum cost. So that is a directive.
So are you making any provision for future decommissioning?
Mr. Chairman, future decommissioning, yes, now we are aware that, for example, the Jubilee decommissioning, there's a fund that was made provision for in the PA, and discussions are ongoing. The fund is being set up so that we will not revisit that issue. It will no more happen. There will be a fund for it so that when we get to the life of the field, it will be properly decommissioning per the fund. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, auditors. The explanation given by the company, the corporation, does it satisfy the issue that you raised in the report?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it satisfied the issue that we raised earlier, and that is why in the subsequent year it did not feature in our report. Thank you.
All right. Paragraph 430, Sam George.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Paragraph 430, long outstanding debts due from the government and its agencies, totaling $215,775,294 US. The auditor states that they noted that the corporation has long overdue receivables and there were no payment plans for the repayment of this amount in excess of $215 million. Government of Ghana owes you $23.2 million. Ministry of Finance, 55.57 million. Tema Oil Refinery, 58.404 million. And Ghana National Gas Limited, Company Limited, 78.573 million, all in US dollars. GMPC, why? You don't like your money?
Mr. Chairman, we have been doubling our efforts, really pushing hard. But sometimes it's hard to get money when the person you are pursuing to doesn't have money. We have started a series, I know with Ministry of Finance and my CFO will explain, we're going to offset against some charges. And in terms of Temoyo Refinery, it's part of the energy sector debt matrix. So we are working on it. But Benjamin, please, can you give some more detail?
Mr. Chairman, as my MD Riley said, we put in more efforts to demand the receivables. Mr. Chairman, we wrote through our sector ministry, Ministry of Energy, to Ministry of Finance to assist us in the collection, and we assist, engage them. Mr. Chairman, in respect of Ministry of Finance, we were written to offset $50 million of the debt that we found in our books, and then we have since done that, so that is no more debt in our books. So, Chairman, we were here the other time, we mentioned same, and that has been resolved. Our auditors have taken note of that. Mr. Chairman, in terms of Ghana Gas, what we find in the books of 78 million, Mr. Chairman, they have since made some payments, and now we are at about $42 million. It has reduced. It shows that we are putting in effort to recover. As my MD said, the energy sector debt matrix has been done, and we have done some reconciliations, and we'll take it up from there. So, Mr. Chairman, we take it a work in progress. We'll put in more effort to demand it. Recently, we also wrote to our lawyers to take up the effort of issuing some demand notices to some our debtors. So, Mr. Chairman, that is also an effort that we are putting in place. Thank you, Chairman.
Director of Finance, right? And Chairman, let me state that I was on a flight with the MD, and he did sound very knowledgeable in what he discussed with me. And I'm hoping that he can bring that knowledge to bear in retrieving, I'm continuing on this, in retrieving the monies. But you know, I just want to find out from the Director of Finance. You said, Director of Finance, the Ministry of Finance wrote to you to offset $50 million.
Mr. Chairman, may I explain? Mr. Chairman, some years back there was this capping law that, following from the budget, we were supposed to cap our level B. But for some years, they allowed us to take our level B in excess of what had been considered. Per the PRMA Act, GMPC is governed by that, what we are supposed to receive under level B. So in that excess, we had excess of about some millions of dollars. So they asked us, in reference to that, asked us to offset that 50 million against that excess that they have allowed us to use. So, Mr. Chairman, at the last time we appeared before you, we gave you a copy of the letter. We have a copy of this letter here that our auditors have been, we have already given to our auditors. So that is what I sought to explain.
Chief, just so that we are not lost. So it means that per the act, you had some monies you were supposed to domicile with finance. Is that what you're saying? And then they asked you to offset it against this 50 million? I'm lost. You've turned your microphone off.
Very well. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, that is not the situation. You know, under the Petroleum Revenue Management Act, we are supposed to receive some funds from the PHF. That's what we call the level B. Now, if you look at it, when the distribution is done and they gave it a 30%, it at times exceeds what the capping law makes provision for us. But because that act is there, it's a law, they allow us to use that funds for our operations. Now, the debt that arose, they look at the difference between the capping law, what they should provide for us, and what actually was given to us, and they asked us to offset that 50 from that. So that is the explanation, Mr. Chairman.
So, Mr. Chairman, just to add, the law allows Ministry of Finance to cap the funds that come to GMPC. So they can decide to cap it and say this is the limit, or they can exceed it if there's a reasonable explanation. From what I understand, how it was explained to me over the years, and this is probably over a decade, right? Over the years, there have been some years when we've exceeded the capping law. So when finance realized that we owe them, they went back to the capping law and said, if you owe us, we owe you, you also owe us. So that was the offset, and that was the reconciliation.
MD, just a quick one. Did you say over a decade? Because capping came into law 2018.
Sorry, I over the years, maybe not a decade, over the years.
Because capping was introduced by the Honorable Ken Oforiatta in 2018.
Right. So I misspoke there.
Okay, but I just wanted to be clear, Chairman. When it comes to Ghana Gas, you say they've paid some and it's dropped to 42 million. That's outstanding. What of Government of Ghana? You say you've written through Ministry of Finance to some agencies. Government of Ghana, who is Government of Ghana? That owes you 23 million. What is it? What accounts for that 23 million, and which agency is Government of Ghana that you gave it to?
Mr. Chairman, I'm informed that arose as a result of the sale of Westel, Mr. Chairman, as a result of the sale of Westel. So it's an old debt that is standing in our books.
So when Westel was sold, right? GMPC was a shareholder in Westel.
Very well, Mr. Chairman.
So when Westel was sold, the share of money that should have come to you for your shares was 23 million, and government did not remit same.
Very well, Mr. Chairman.
And you are still keeping this on your book. Westel has been sold. It was sold to Airtel. Airtel now became Airtel Tigo. And that one too, they're about to sell it. And they sold it for $1. And you think you'll get your 23.2 million.
Mr. Chairman, writing debt in our books, we need to go through a process. The auditors and accountants will tell you. It's quite a laborious process. We go through our board, certify it. We have to go through Minister of Finance and also go to Parliament. So once it's in the books, well, unless we go through that process, we cannot write it off. So we take note of that and go through the process to write a debt off if after discussing with our auditors.
Chairman, I seek your guidance on this, on what advice we should give them relative to this 23.2 million that accrues from the sale of Westel. It's been that I can say has been over a decade. And so,
Chairman,
guide us.
That is the money Government of Ghana is supposed to give to the company, which they did not give. So the Government of Ghana is owing the GMPC that money.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Government of Ghana.
Yeah, Government of Ghana is owing, so they should be able to refund the money to GMPC. They sold the company. They're supposed to transfer this portion to GMPC. They didn't. They spent the entire money. So they are still owing the GMPC. But what we should be talking about is that there must be even interest component. That government must pay in addition. In any way. But I was going to talk about the capping law. For me, the capping law is a way to rob GMPC. If the law on the Petroleum Revenue Management Act gave what percentage should be given to GMPC, and then there is another law that gave power to the Minister of Finance to cap what the law says we should give you. For instance, the law says we should give you 30% in a particular year, which amount to, let's say, $100 million. Then the capping law says the Minister of Finance has power to cap that $100 million to $70 million. is a way to use a capping law to rob GMPC from what you are entitled under the Petroleum Revenue Management Act. But you will not have any power over that. It's the Ministry of Finance who used that mechanism or system to get the money. So we'll not talk much about that. Yes.
MD, these amounts, there's $215 million have been outstanding for over 10 years. Are you sure we are going to recover this amount?
Mr. Chairman, as I stated earlier, we are doubling our efforts, and as the Honorable also insisted, we should be practical and realistic in seeing if we can get this money. My CFO alluded to, we are under the jurisdiction of our accounting laws, and we have done everything to try and be more realistic, and we can assure you in the next year or in the next couple of months, we will we'll take another look at these numbers and come up with more realistic numbers.
Are you saying that within a couple of months you'll be able to get this money, or you are, because I'm saying that these monies are owned by government or government agencies, and it's been there for over 10 years. So are you not going to come to some arrangement with government, maybe to turn them into equity or something, rather than saying that you will be making efforts to recover? I don't believe you can recover them.
We'll take the necessary steps, as you said, and we agree with what you're saying. It's very good advice. And we will discuss with government what we can receive and what we'll be able to.
So how soon are you expected to do these necessary steps?
I believe right now we're in the process of our yearly audit. So
how soon? Can you assure the committee that within 6 months you would have taken the necessary steps, or 1 year or 2 years? Well, what is your timelines?
So my CFO has reminded me that the energy sector debt matrix is still ongoing. So it should be done according to when they complete the analysis, please.
MD, this energy sector matrix has been going on for years. I cannot see that it has impacted on these debts. Because, I mean, between 2016 and 2020, the only change is about 7 million. And if it was really impacting, you'll be seeing movement in the debts. But it has been stagnant. So I'm not sure that will resolve the problem.
From my understanding, the new energy sector debt matrix was started a year ago, less than a year. Was it 2023? November 2023. So we're doubling our efforts there, Mr. Chairman. Please.
November 2023.
Yes. So please, we will ensure that what is rightfully for GMPC will come to GMPC.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Paragraph 434, Honorable Aziz.
Thank you, Chairman. GMPC, you have differences in finance costs to a tune of $2 million. And a joint management committee was instituted to resolve the issue. I want to find out the update, please.
We have resolved all issues and all matters. I have my general manager of projects here who can shed light on it.
You share this information with the auditors?
Yes, I believe the information has been shared with the auditors.
Auditors, can you confirm this?
Mr. Chairman, confirmed.
Chairman, I yield to you.
Paragraph 441. Honorable Ranking will take it.
the auditors have noticed differences in your books between your accounts with TALU. And the difference is $18.6 million, again, dollars. And their recommendation is to reconcile. Have you been able to reconcile with TALU?
So this was escalated to the Joint Management Committee, which is the highest decision body in our partnership, where I personally am a member with my deputy. And we were in the stage of reconciling, and as of now, we've come to an agreement.
What is the agreement?
The issue has been resolved, but we have to submit it to. Have we submitted? We've already submitted the numbers to the details to the auditors, please.
Auditors, have the reconciliation been done to your satisfaction?
Mr. Chairman, the reconciliation has been done to our satisfaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
All right, thank you. Paragraph 448, accounting software challenges. The auditors noted that the corporation's accounting software, which should be able to generate complete set of financial statement and other reports with minimal intervention. The migration of the accounting software SAP HANA in 2017, the corporation has encountered difficulties in uploading opening balances into the software and the implementation of other models of the software. So the recommendation is that management should engage the software service provider to ensure that the migration lapses are resolved for value for money to be realized. Have you resolved the challenges with the software?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we've resolved it. I believe it was with this software, especially during the implementation phase, there are lots of technical glitches, but we have ensured that we've gotten the right technical support and it has been resolved.
Auditors, can you confirm?
Mr. Chairman, confirmed. Thank you.
The last one for GMPC.
To be abreast with the law. Has that been done?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The board charter for the 9th board was reviewed and approved on July 13th, 2023. So the auditors should be in the know. Thank you.
Auditors, are you in the know?
Mr. Chairman, it was approved on the 13th of July 2023 by the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. That'll be all for GMPC. Your discharge. Bost.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Let's have Bost. Thank you for coming. Can you introduce yourself to the committee?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Edwin Provençal, Managing Director of Bost. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, please. My name is Bismarck Adom Dankwa, General Manager for Finance, Bost.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Moses Assem, Deputy MD, Bost.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Edmond Akwa, Head of Audit, Bost.
All right, thank you very much for coming. You have few issues. The first one is on the financial statement. Honorable Aka, paragraph 330.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Boss, in 2021, your revenue increased. And then your income, other income also increased. I'll not belabor all these things, but and your profit also increased supposedly, and the reason was that you increased the margin from 6 cities to 9 cities. Is that correct? Is that the main reason why your income increased?
It stated the major reason why in the same document you are reading.
Okay, we have met several of these companies here. They gave reasons for their loss as due to the COVID. I think in 2021, COVID was around. So how were you able to circumvent the effect of COVID? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. So yes, our income.
Is it a funny question?
No.
Okay, then go ahead.
It's not. Our income increased because our sales increased. If you look at the top line, going from 2020 to 2021, there was an increment in sales, and that's what accounted for that.
All right. I could see that your your expenditure also increased.
Yes, sir.
By 39.8%. And the reasons were that increase in import costs and the depreciation of the city. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So how was the import costs affecting you?
Mr. Chair, as you're aware, we import petroleum products and sell same. So once we import more, it means that we buy more. So our direct costs will definitely go up.
It means the import duties were increased, isn't it?
No, the cost of the products.
The cost of the products. Yes. So the import duties were stagnant.
We don't.
Because they're saying that it was due to the increase in import costs. So are you saying that because of the volume, or because of the increase in the
volume?
So the taxes were flat.
No, we don't pay. We don't pay import duties.
Also, import cost does not include the duties.
No, import cost means that once the volumes go up, it means
proportional.
Proportionally, yes.
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
So, if you go to the financial position, it says your non-current assets increased by 1.8. It was due to the purchase of lands. And I'd like to know if, with your operations, you need so much land. Is it land for the workers or for your bungalows? I mean, can you please explain?
No, Mr. Chair. I think in some time past, there were some outstanding issues that were resolved regarding land purchase. So that is what accounted for that.
And your current ratio also was better than before, but still is so poor. What plans are you putting in place to make it better?
Mr. Chair, thank you for acknowledging that we did better than before.
Not so good.
We'll try. Yeah, our current ratio actually was 0.82. Currently, we are at 0.82. So we've improved from 0.5 to 0.82, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
0.5 is better than 0.82, not 2.8.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
The 82 is better than 0.5. All right, let's go to paragraph 340. Honorable Chinia.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. The infraction here is abandoned landed properties. About 5 landed properties with an estimated value of almost 9 million Ghana cedis have been abandoned. The auditors have observed that the properties could deteriorate further and would require more funds to renovate them if you postpone it. So they've recommended to management to allocate resources to rehabilitate these properties. Have you done that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we've started fixing 2 of those properties. For the rest of them, we've gotten approval from the board to look for a strategic partner to partner us bring those properties live. So that's the state of it, and I'm sure the auditors can confirm that.
Auditors, are you able to confirm that they have started working on 2 of those properties?
Mr. Chairman, we confirm that they are working on the guest houses in Akosombo. And the board has also given them approval to partner a third-party investor to rehabilitate the rest. Thank you.
Honorable Chairman, they are taking steps to get the problem resolved. Thank you.
Paragraph 345, Honorable Ajay Boateng.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Boss, this has to do with encampment of 12 inches pipeline at Bost depots. You imported some 12-inch pipelines which were kept at the Afram Place depot and then the Mami Water depot. Sorry, Accra Plains depot and the Mami Water depot.
Mami Water. Papa Water.
Yeah. But the problem the auditors had with you was that you didn't protect those pipelines. So they have started rusting. So when the audit was done, they recommended that you took steps to cap these pipelines. What have you done so far?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. When we brought the pipelines, what we have done is to make sure that they are well covered since that audit finding happened. On the encampment, when we started the procurement process, we realized that the cost it would take us to encap all those pipelines would be almost the same cost it would take us to do the feed to bury the pipeline. So we have decided to still keep covering those pipelines while we commence the procurement process this year to start burying those pipelines instead. And we have discussed with the auditors on this particular issue.
Yeah. So, auditors, can you confirm what they're saying?
Mr. Chairman, confirmed.
Thank you very much. Paragraph 350 is about occupied leased land with no payment received. So Bost owned some piece of land at Tema, the industrial area. Then the size of the land is 5.4 acres. Another part of that, or portion of that, which is 2 acres, was leased to a company called Tema LNG Gas for a gas workstation. Now, this company occupied the land from February 2021 without any signed lease agreement or lease agreement. Additionally, no payment has been made since. So the auditors are recommending that management should expedite action in the signing of the lease agreement and also recover the outstanding rental from the company. They also urge management to take steps to prevent further encroachment of the property. I want to find out if you've been able to sign the agreement and have you also recovered the the rental charges from the company.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to inform you, and the auditor can confirm, that this has been 100% resolved. We've recovered all the sums. We have contracts for all the...
Auditors, can you confirm?
Mr. Chairman, confirm. Thank you.
Thank you. Paragraph 358, Honorable Sampson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mine is not different from the previous. It has to do with landed property in about 6 locations. And according to the auditors, it's like you are not protecting the land. No pillars, no fence wall. And there's a possibility that encroachers can share the land among themselves. And you were asked to try and ensure that those lands are all protected. Tema, Balga, Bupui, Savologo, and the rest. What can you say about this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The auditor can confirm that on the signages, it's 100% delivered. As we speak, the construction of the fence wall is ongoing. So hopefully, within the next few months, that would also be secured.
Auditors, are you satisfied with the progress of work done on the side?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the signages at Bupe, Sablugu, Bolgatanga, and Tema have been erected, and also contracts have been awarded for the fence wall in Tema. Thank you.
Paragraph 363, Honorable Sophia.
Thank you, Chairman. 363 has to do with a contract for the agent supply of earthing devices not delivered for installation. And Bost, you sign a contract with one Mr. Ghani's Ghana Limited. That is a total of 1,532,878.25. The items were supposed to be delivered at the locations APD, Kumasi, Bui Power, Bolgatanga within 6 weeks. Auditors are recommending that management should deduct from the contract price as liquidated damages a sum equivalent to 1.0% of the contract price of the delayed goods for each week of delayed until actual delivery, up to a maximum deduction of 10% of the delayed goods. Contract price as per clause 11 of the contract agreement between the parties. Now, management is saying that the delay in supply of the earthing devices was due to global shortage of key components as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, auditors are saying that they still stand by what they are recommending you to do. So what do you have to tell the committee? Have you complied to the auditors' recommendation?
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. Please, the auditors can confirm that this is no more an issue. It's been resolved, installed.
Auditors, please, can you confirm if you are satisfied with their...
Mr. Chairman, the issues have been resolved. If I will verify them, thank you.
Chairman, please, that will be all for them. The issue has been resolved.
There is public interest question. Kofi Adams.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. MD, you're welcome.
Thank you, my former board member.
You know you owe us a lot, but then let me go straight to. But a lot of work has gone into this issue of pipeline, the gas pipeline, and we had gotten the right as Bost to erect the pipelines, especially the reverse flow, because as I know it has faced a few challenges, and currently one of the major difficulties the IPPs in the eastern side here have had is sometimes the shutdown of the WACPO pipelines due to some challenges. Is Bost still interested in pursuing this gas pipeline project, especially the reverse flow, since you have a lot of your IPPs in the eastern side here, or there's a change in policy? If there's a change in policy, can we know, do we have a pipeline now that government of Ghana owns, or we are depending solely on the West African gas pipeline project for our reverse flow? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. This question is very loaded. This question involves the ministry, Ghana Gas, and Bost. So I'll talk from the Bost end. As we speak, just like Netco is the transmission provider for electricity, for electrons, for the molecules and gas especially, Ghana Gas, as per policy, is the one responsible to do what you are saying. So Ghana Gas has that responsibility today. The licenses were taken away from Bost and given to Ghana Gas. Thank you.
Please, can you share the time the licensing happened? Because, like I said, I knew with
2018. I hear 2018. Thank you very much. So they are now the transmission utility for gas, provider for gas.
All right, thank you very much. That will be all for Bost. You are discharged.
Thank you very much.
Bui Power. Kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Honorable Chairman, my name is Kofi Jamesi, CEO of Bui Power.
Honorable Chairman, my name is Jemima Fire, Finance Director, Bui Power Authority.
Honorable Chairman, Franklin Nana Adai, Head of Legal.
Thank you very much for coming. We have a few issues. The first one is the financial statement and paragraph 552, Honorable Aka.
Thank you, Chairman. Bui, is that a Bui? Anglicized, I've anglicized it. Don't you know how? Bui, yes. Your revenue for 2021 was less than 2020. Is there any special reason for that, please?
Honorable Chairman, I'll let my Director of Finance take that question.
Honorable Chairman, our revenue is mainly based on our reservoir, how much water we have in a reservoir. So we are able to generate more depending on the availability of water in our reservoir. For 2021, because we drafted a lot from our reservoir the previous year, come 2021, in managing our reservoir, there was a slight decrease because we had to make sure that we don't overdraw. So our revenue is mainly based on generation from the water we have in our reservoir, and also on Gridco calling us to come on board. Yes.
All right. According to your own words, you said your revenue depends on the level of water in the reservoir. And can I also say that the production of power should be proportional to the cost of generation? Is that correct? If I say that it's proportional?
Yes.
The cost of generation?
Ordinarily, yes.
Yes. And yet you had to spend more, even though you produce less. Can you explain that, please?
Okay, there are some costs that are somehow fixed, like salaries of the engineers who are in charge of the plant. In 2021, we employed more engineers on the plant, and that is what caused the increase in the cost.
You employed more, even though you knew that the water level had gone down and that your generation will be less. So for you, as the generation is going down, your rate of employment goes up.
No, the
inverse proportion.
The general.
Yes, let me come in. Yes, you know, power generation started in 2013, and the more you continue to use the equipment, you know, the more you need more people for maintenance here and there. Beginning when the plant is new, you don't need more people, but as the plant grows, you need more people because you have to add the maintenance aspect of it. So it became necessary that you get more engineers to ensure that both the operation and maintenance are well done. That's why.
Do you undertake a plant maintenance system?
Of course.
Or just that if you are going to maintain, then you employ the people to maintain, or plant maintenance system?
No, it's planned. But as the years go by, and then the equipment begin to deteriorate, you need to ensure that the plants continue to work. Yes, sir.
I must tell you that I don't agree with that, but let's go forward. And then your administrative expenses also went up, even though your generation was less.
Yes, administrative expenses also went up. And like I said earlier, human resource went up, and therefore administrative expenses also went up. So it's related. But I would also like to add that the people we took on in 2021 are still working, and there has been an increase in generation since then. So this was a decision taken at the time because we felt there was a need to do so.
And you run your plant as reserved one or major generation plant?
Please clarify the question. Yes.
Is it a reserved? Because you said the water comes around.
Yeah, so let me answer. Water. It is not a reserved plant, but it's called a picking plant. Why picking? We expect that at certain times of the period, when there is so much demand for power, then power is supposed to generate some amount of power at any time T to ensure that the system runs smoothly. But whenever there is a peak, then we are called upon to generate much more. So it's not that it's a reserve plant. It's working all the time. But then sometimes we
Do you also want to take spillage? Spillage. Your plant, is it
2021, 2022, 2023, no spillage.
your time that you spill?
It depends on the management of the dam and the management of dispatch.
And are you making sure
a master plan to ensure that we do not spill in any other year?
So are you saying that the Akosombo Dam didn't have any proper thing in place?
Please, I cannot answer that one.
Paragraph 562, Honorable Chinia.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. The infraction here is overdue accounts receivable amounting to 550,202,990 United States dollars. And out of that, over $509 million amounting to 98.96% was due to ECG. The auditors observed that the authority is not getting enough funds from the ESLA bond allocation to defray the outstanding legacy debt, because this is between 2013 to 2021. They have therefore recommended that the management should liaise with the Minister for Finance, Minister of Energy, and the management of ECG to ensure that the allocation from the cash waterfall arrangement cover a significant portion of the total current invoices. Have you done that? Have you liaised with the ministers and ECG to ensure that this recommendation is complied with?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Yes, it becomes very difficult for us to even pay salaries. So we've done a lot, and the Ministry of Energy has also been doing a lot, but inflows are very, very low. Very low.
So are you suggesting that the Minister of Finance and ECG are not responding? Because between 2013 to 2021, you are not getting anything from there.
Boldly and pay a lot of those debts. So we are waiting for them.
Chairman, I'll yield to you. So far, I think there has not been progress in responding to the auditor's recommendation.
An amount of $515 million. You haven't recovered anything? Not even $1 million.
Honorable Chairman, you know, Bui Power sells more than 99% of its power generation to ECG.
To ECG.
And they are supposed to pay.
Yeah.
But we realize that because it's becoming very difficult for us to get the money from them, we are now starting to try and see if we can get some off-takers so that we can get the money directly from those off-takers. So at least we can have our finances in order. But it's quite very difficult. I was hoping that you will invite Bui Power before ECG so that when we leave here, they will come and answer.
In fact, I'm just looking at the balance sheet for ECG, and I'm not seeing the corresponding liability in the ECG. So I wanted to find from the auditors, if by 2021, because these are account for the Bui Power account 2021, the ECG owed them $509 million. I expect to see a corresponding liability, either long-term or a short-term liability, in the ECG balance sheet. And when we come to ECG balance sheet, the current liability, I don't know where you capture it. Did you capture in the current liability or long-term liability? Because the current liability is 17 billion Ghana cedis. So if you convert the $509 million using the rate, exchange rate at the time into cities, will it fall within the 17 billion as the debt owed by ECG, so that we can say that Bui Power debt is accommodated within that current liability?
I don't think so. They owe GMPC, they owe Ghana Gas also.
Yes.
They owe Ghana Gas.
So, auditors, there is a need for some reconciliation. If not, it means that ECG owe more than we are seeing in their financial position.
One note, Chairman, even as at October 2023, the debt has increased to 701 billion USD.
That's for the Bui one.
ECG. A million ECG. From 500.
Yeah, from 500, I have now $729 million that ECG owes us.
The ECG owes
you. Wow. It's too much.
Because they sell, yes. No.
Now, Bui Power, CEO, why are you charging ECG in dollars?
We went for a loan from China Exim Bank denominated in dollars to build the dam. So we needed to get a price that can take care of the loan we went for. And it's all denominated in USD. And
so if ECG want to charge in dollars, because you are selling to ECG in dollars, they want to charge the consumer in dollar. Can we change the city into dollar and Ghana use dollar instead of city?
per the PPA,
Uh-huh.
per the PPA, the ECG is to pay as an SCD equivalent of that
Yeah,
dollar
so
amount.
what it means is that you are pushing the burden of CD depreciation to ECG. ECG, to be able to also capture that, is pushing it to the consumer.
I would also like to add that we are also suffering some losses because the exchange rate we agree with ECG is not exactly what we use to change into paying back the loan.
No, because you are charging your sales are charged in dollars already. So is it not when they are going to pay before you convert?
Yes, we pay the loan every 6 months.
Yeah, I
in a
mean,
year.
whatever you charge the ECG,
Yes, they pay.
assuming you charge them today, and the exchange rate is 12 cedis to the dollar, and it take 1 year for them to pay, would they use the ruling rate, exchange rate at the time they are paying, or they'll use the rate at the time you sold the power to them?
They'll use the current rate.
The current rate.
At the time, but they'll use the Bank of Ghana rate.
Yeah, so you are not suffering. The ECG is suffering any loss. They are suffering it.
And if I may also add, we are not charging any interest on ECG owing us for so many years. ECG has been owing us since 2013, and they are not paying.
So have they been
CDs
paying
by
now? Now are they paying? Or are they making any effort to pay something?
We are getting payments through the cash waterfall, but it's just 20% of what we bill.
Okay.
So that's why the debt is accumulating.
How
over
are you
the
able
years.
to operate to meet your cost?
Currently, How are we able to operate?
By the hand of God.
By the hand of God. I believe you are not the one who called pastors to come and pray for water into the reservoir. All right, let's go on. The next one is paragraph 570, Honorable Ajibwati.
Thank you, Chairman. This one has to do with Bui Power Authority auctionings of vehicles. The amount of money that was realized from the auction of the vehicles was $45,516 US. And this was in 2020. At the time of the audit, the auctioneer had not paid money into the designated account. Can we be told a different story now? Has it been paid?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Still, we've not been able to collect that money. And so what we've done is that we've done a lot to be able to retrieve the money, but it's not possible. So we have written to the Office of the President because they recommended that auctioneer to us. And we think that after that, we'll take some legal action.
So the auctioneer,
yeah,
is he in town?
We contacted the Auctioneers Registration Board to see if we can get through to him through them. And we also wrote a letter to him, copied the board. We've been calling. At a point, he wasn't well, but it's become more and more difficult to get hold of on the auctioneer.
The question I asked was whether the auctioneer was around. Because in your answer now, you are saying that at some point in time he wasn't well, yeah, which means that you know where we can get the auctioneer.
No, we were told. We haven't been able to. We cannot tell whether he's around.
But this one has been a case that has been running since 2020. We are in 2023 now. And we cannot even locate 2024. We cannot even locate the auctioneer. And he has this amount of money still with him. It's a serious...
So as I said, you know, this auctioneer was recommended to us by Office of the President. That's why we've written to the Office of the President. And then after that, we'll take a legal action against him.
Chairman, so they have not been able to get the auctioneer to pay the monies into the designated account. So let me defer to you.
Yeah, Director of Finance, you claim that you wrote to the auctioneers, is it board or the association?
Auctioneers Registration Board.
Auctioneer Registration Board. What is their response to the letter you wrote to them?
We haven't received any formal response from them.
When did you write to them?
August 2023.
August 2023. Yes. So for almost 5 months past, they have not responded.
No, Mr. Chairman.
So you don't know where this auctioneer is at the moment?
At the moment, no.
Oh, no. We need to call for some action. Honorable Roxon.
Chairman, thank you very much. This is a matter that my brother, Director of Legal, should take up. If I have your attention, Director of Legal, you know the remediable steps. you will have to write back to the auctioneers board for the appropriate sanctions to apply, because the auctioneer's license is renewable every year. That is one condition under which you can take this man, and then you should also sue him. This MAT is an incorporated entity. It is capable of being sued and suing. So sue him and recover your money. Don't assume that because you cannot reach him, issue a writ and get him served. You see, the auctioneer's license is non-transferable. It is in personam. It is to the entity. So you have to serve him and get your money. And also write to notify the office of the chief of staff that this is the situation, because the recommendation in respect of you using this auctioneer came from that office. So you need to put them on notice before you proceed to court. It's very important.
Thank you very much. We'll be guided by your advice.
So we are giving you two ways to take action and then report back to the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman.
Yes. The next one in paragraph 576, non-establishment of the reserve fund. According to the auditors, your act, section 17 of the Bui Power Authority Act, instructs the authority to establish a reserve fund and make payment out of profits into the fund for the purpose of expanding your activities. The auditors noted that a reserve fund had not been established. So they are recommending that management establish the reserve fund in accordance with Act 740 as amended. Have you been able to establish the fund?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Yes, we have established the fund in our books, but there's no money to put in there.
Honorable Jamashi, Kofi Jamashi, you made a profit in 2021. Your statement showed that you made a profit of 239.9 million Ghana cedis profit in 2021. I know profit is not cash, but when I come to your statement of financial position, there is also, under your current assets, you have 3.3 billion Ghana cedis. It's not entirely, it can be entirely cash, but there is a cash component. If you go into details of the account, you know that the cash component is there. Why are you saying that you have established the account in your books, but there is no money to transfer in?
Yeah, about 80% of the current assets are in receivables with ECG. We are yet to receive, it's cash we are yet to receive from ECG.
So you don't have any cash in your bank account?
We have cash flow issues because we are not collecting enough from ECG.
No, answer my question. You don't have any cash or any balance in your bank account?
We do have cash, but it's insufficient for us to...
okay, because it's insufficient, you want to violate the law, not to transfer the money. The law didn't say if there is cash or not, sufficient cash or not in your account. The law didn't say that. The law says that once you make profits, you must do a transfer. So you are violating the law. Well, auditors have noted it. You violate the law. You are refusing to do that. So, okay, let's establish the fund, the reserve fund. But there is no sufficient money, so we will not transfer money into it. The committee is going to direct you to do a transfer into that fund and show evidence to the auditors.
Noted, Mr.
That
Chairman.
money is still for you. It's not for anybody. Yes, Honorable Kunsin.
Mr. Chairman, I think the response was that they have created a fund ledger in their books. What we are talking about has to do with the fund, and the fund must have an account into which transfers will be made. And when transfers are made into that account, those monies will even be invested to generate additional, interest. So the ledger doesn't solve the problem at all, Mr. Chairman. I agree with you. Thank you.
Yeah, so that is why I said they should do the transfer into the fund. If they don't have an account, they can't do the transfer. So for them to do the transfer, they will have to open the account. Yes.
Auditor, under paragraph 577, you noted that the reserve fund has not been established. But they are financing projects from their normal pool. So, Director, you have been financing projects from your authority's fund pool. The only thing that you are not doing is that you are not creating a special fund for that. That is the observation of the auditors. So if you say you don't have funds, it's not true. Do you understand?
Noted.
Okay.
We'll create the fund.
Thank you, Chairman.
All right. The next one, paragraph 581, Honorable Sampson.
Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the issue has to do with Chairman, I'm on the yes. The issue has to do with regulations for the Bui Power, and here the auditors gave you some guidelines. I thought probably, looking at what they are saying, you need to protect the property in terms of restricting and the use of the lake, then water, the way they assess the people and operations, not even the community around the Bui dump. So you need at least some law that can prevent them from doing that. So why prevent you from doing it, looking at the number of years you're operating? There's a number of suggestions they even made in terms of a movement of motor, movement into the lake and all that. What prevented you over the years from doing this?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. We have a lot of things going on to protect, first of all, the lake, and to ensure that the people who live around there benefit from the lake and benefit accordingly. So, for example, we have this our forestry program to ensure that minimum of 50 meters away from the dam is all to be planted. And we are on it seriously. If you go there, you will see. Even we are very soon going to get carbon credits for that. Apart from that, we try as much as possible to limit people from going onto the lake to fish. As the years go by...
No, Chairman, with all due respect, the auditors have recommended that you should have a regulation pursuant to the law. You don't have it. So you should be assuring the committee that you take urgent steps. Like you've said in the report, consult the AG and have it done. Now you are justifying why you don't have a regulation. And the regulation is also a revenue generating regulation. Yes.
With all this you are saying, you cannot enforce it without a regulation. You can't enforce it.
Honorable Chairman, noted.
Or probably...
noted.
Chairman, I think that With your exit, he was waiting to come and do the regulations in Parliament. but he said it's not.
Yes. Chairman, if I may, and we, you see, the regulation is supposed to give effect to the law. It's also to generate revenue for you. So it's very important that you, Director of Legal, once again, I'll place this matter squarely on your lap. You have to take steps and have the regulation drafted by the AG, sponsor it, and bring it before the Subsidiary Legislation Committee and have it passed. Please, it's very important. Your law is 207, and we're in 2024. Without the regulation, it's such a big gap. Please. And,
Thank you. Well noted.
And further to this, if you check the auction sales law, section 8, the auctioneer is supposed to post a bond with the board. The value of that bond, you should be able to redeem it to recover the value of the cars that we speak of. So proceed and act. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your guidance.
Paragraph 586, Honorable Sophia.
Thank you very much, Chairman. 586, your infraction here has to do with investment in associates. The auditors are saying that Bui Power Authority acquired 33,000 shares at a cost of 33,000 Ghana cedis in the Nuclear Power Ghana Limited upon incorporation on the 4th July 2019. However, no share certificates has been issued to the authority by the NPGL in accordance with the Companies Act. There is no share certificate to confirm the authority's interest in the NPGL. Auditors urge that management to obtain the share certificate from NPGL to confirm the 33,000 shares acquired by the authority. Have you been able to comply with the recommendation?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Yes, share certificate has been accordingly issued to the authority.
Auditors, please, can you confirm to us if you are satisfied with the answer?
Honorable Chair, they've obtained the share certificate. Thank you.
Chairman, that will be all for them.
Thank you very much. That will be all for Bui Power. But there is a public interest question. Honorable Sam George.
Honorable Jamisi, good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Oh, are you the chairman? You are not the chairman to tell me to go ahead. I greeted you. At least respond to my greeting.
Oh, yes, sir.
The last time you were here, I asked you a public interest question on behalf of the people of Ketu North. Did you contest in the primaries on the 27th of January?
Well, because there was an issue, the last time you came, you asked a question on this, I'll permit this one.
Yes.
It's too personal, but I'll permit this one.
Yeah, I just want to know if you contested, because there was a previous question to this. Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. You know, the last time I came here, I made a very categorical statement that I was not going to contest. I will only contest if the chairman contests. And because the chairman did not contest, I too did not contest.
Chairman, I think I will rest here. Let me say thank you to you for retiring Honorable Jamisi from his parliamentary interest. Thank you.
Well, anyway, he's my senior brother, so
it's not a retirement.
He said he only contests if I'm contesting. So now that I'm not contesting, he's also not contesting, and it's good. It's good. We are all old, so we need to go and rest. Yeah, Honorable Roxon.
Chairman, thank you very much. Honorable Jamisi, my information is that you are above 60 years and you are still at post. How old are you, sir?
Honorable Jamashi, we want to find out if what is your age?
So is my age connected to being the CEO? I want to understand the question very well before I answer.
Yes, yeah, it is. You are holding a public office. So there is nothing about you that could be private or personal.
I'm 64 years old.
Okay.
Okay, so do you have a contract from the board?
Yes, I have contract up to September 2025.
Very well. Thank you very much.
So is the matter not ended? Why do you want to drag a little simple thing? He said it's on contract. Kindly furnish me with a copy of your contract.
Thank you very much. I will.
All right, that'll be all for you. You are discharged.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's have Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company. Ghana Cylinder.
Swear by the Almighty God. Swear by the Almighty God that the evidence I shall give before this committee. That the evidence I shall give before this committee. Touching the matter in issue. Touching the matter in issue. Shall be the truth. Shall be the truth. The whole truth. The whole truth. And nothing but the truth. And nothing but the truth. So help me God. So help me God. Thank you.
All right, kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Good afternoon, Chairman. I'm Mrs. Genevieve Saki, Managing Director of Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm Philip Kwesibeko, Head of Finance, Ghana Cylinder.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. I'm William Tete. I'm in charge of technical operations.
Mr. Chair, I'm Richmond Abeka, internal audit.
Mr. Chair, I'm Ebenezer Bekon, Head of Corporate Affairs and Marketing.
Thank you very much for coming. You have only one issue, but the first one is a financial statement. Paragraph 513. Honorable Bao, take it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And looking at your financial or expenditure and income table, I find out that your total income decreased by 64.1% from 2020 to 2021. What might have accounted for this, if you could explain?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So the decrease in our total revenue or income was as a result of a halt in operations in 2021. So we could not produce and sell cylinders, but rather we only retail gas and also refurbished some few cylinders. And this was mainly as a result of lack of funding to bring in raw material. Thank you.
Talking about lack of funding, how do you get your funds?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the moment, we are not in production, but we have the agencies through the Ministry of Energy who are assisting us until we start production. Thank you.
And then looking at your financial position, is the current ratio as it stands now indicates that you might not be able to meet your liabilities or financial obligations when they fall due. What measures have you put in place to change this position?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we indicated last year, we are in the process of an acquisition. At the moment, we are in the final stages. The documents are with Ministry of Finance to be forwarded to Cabinet. So we are hoping that by the end of the first quarter, we'll be acquired by Ghana Gas. Thank you.
Let's hope that all what you are saying, you are able to operationalize it. Mr. Chairman, that's all for me.
All right. Paragraph 524, Honorable Apak.
Grateful, Mr. Chairman. Non-payment of statutory deductions. Amount quoted, 375,315 Ghana cedis. According to the auditors, they discovered that you had failed to pay income tax, pay as you earn, of an amount of 286,068 Ghana cedis 45 pesos that you withheld from the salaries of employees during the year. They also noted that you did not pay Tier 1 and Tier 2 pension contributions amounting to 49,811 Ghana cedis 42 pesos. Cumulatively, this works out to the amount earlier quoted. The auditors have recommended that you ensure that all deductions for payee and pension contributions are paid on time as stipulated by Act 896. What action have you taken with regards to this infraction and the recommendation of the auditors for you to pay the said statutory deductions that you had failed to pay?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So this amount, currently we've made payment for the Tier 1 and also for the Tier 2, and part payment for the pay as you earn, for which receipts have been provided to the auditors. With the remainder of the pay as you earn, we've made the necessary arrangement with the GRA to make the payment in installment. But currently we are on schedule in terms of this payment. Thank you very much.
You know what you have just said is against the law, as indicated and as read. You don't have the luxury of keeping monies that you have withheld. So what would have accounted for withholding monies and not paying them to the necessary institutions, to the extent that you are now making arrangements to defray something that you had withheld?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So as one of the honorable members said earlier, our liquidity position is not the best, so we face some financial challenges as at that time, and that accounted for this. But going forward, we've resolved not to repeat some of these infractions. Thank you very much.
So how soon will you finish paying? Because we are in 2024. This is the 2022 audit report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So the agreement is to finish paying this outstanding amount by the end of the second quarter in 2024. Thank you.
Auditors, can you confirm what has been paid and what is outstanding?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm of the payment of the Tier 1, which is 49,681.64. The rest are still outstanding. Thank you.
Chairman, this is the situation. I didn't know the Ghana Cylinder Company was so handicapped to the extent of withholding and utilizing monies that they should be remitting on behalf of workers. I leave it to your better judgment.
Is the company broke?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, at the moment, we are not in a very good financial position. But as I reiterated, because we're going to be acquired by Ghana Gas, most of these issues are already being resolved, pending the final signature of the acquisition. Thank you.
Sorry, is the word she's looking for insolvent?
No. There were issues involving sole sourcing procurement in the past, where the former CEO is the position CEO or managing director.
The managing director.
The former managing director.
Yes, please.
Francis SCM.
Yes, please.
Appeared before the committee here. There were a number of issues, sole sourcing, involving millions of dollars. This committee referred this matter to Attorney General for prosecution. Up till now, Parliament also failed to communicate the decision of the House to the Attorney General. We'll be taking that matter later as a committee. And that woman is no more there.
No, please.
So you are now in charge?
Yes, please.
So you are now finding it difficult to even operate. So are you now importing the cylinders?
Because of the CRM policy introduced by the government on 1st September 2023, and due to our situation, we have been given the sole responsibility to refurbish all recalled cylinders.
Okay.
To which we've already ordered the machines to do that.
Wow. So if I need a new cylinder now, how do I get it?
There are other parties in the market at the moment.
Who are also, they are importing the machines?
No, they are actually manufacturing them in Ghana.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so you are in competition now. So if you don't put your house in order, you'll be out of business.
Yes, please.
Now, the staff whose contributions you are holding here are now losing. They are losing because we have not sent the money for their account to be credited. And for the Tier 2, the value of the money is going down.
I'll leave my finance manager to talk on that.
How soon do you think that we can raise money to pay this money to the fund managers?
Honorable Chair, the Tier 1 and Tier 2 have been paid. We have copies of the receipts here.
Okay, then give the auditors confirm the Tier 1. So the Tier 2, you need to give the evidence to the auditors to confirm.
Okay,
now,
sir, thank
for the tax component, we are urging you to pay any penalty that will be arising out of this. You have to pay it personally. Any penalty that GRA will charge for not paying the income tax to GRA, any penalty that they raise, you have to pay it. If they don't raise any penalty, that's your luck. But once they raise it, don't use the company money to pay. But as a management, not you as an individual, management, current management will have to find money and pay for it.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
That'll be all for you. You are discharged.
Thank you.
VRA Health Services Limited. VRA Health Services Limited. And kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Honorable Chair, my name is Dr. Kwabna Omari Yeboah, the Medical Director.
Okay.
Honorable Chair, my name is Tei Saba, Manager, Finance and Accounts.
I'm Dr. Charles Ahimfo, Medical Superintendent, VRA Hospital, Kosombo.
My name is Dr. Emmanuel Soa, Medical Superintendent at VRA Hospital, Accra.
All right, thank you very much. Your financial performance is not good. In 2022, your income is negative. You made a loss of 40 million Ghana cedis. 2021, it was 34 million Ghana cedis. Now it's 40 million Ghana cedis. It doesn't look good at all. Is there any reason why you continue to make loss?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I would want to give a certain background to this. The health service, VRA Health Services, set up about 60 years ago. When VRA was set up not as a profit center, but as a cost center. And so it was run as a department of VRA. Then in the late 2010s, that's somewhere 2019, VRA decided that they want to turn it into a subsidiary. So from that time, the accounts of the VRA Health Services was prepared separately from VRA. Now, as a new company, you have inherited staff with a certain salary structure, which has become more of a fixed liability, if I should put it that way. And so the intention of the shareholder is for the VRA Health Services, not only this time around providing service for just the staff and the dependents, but somehow go to town and ensure that we will be able to raise some revenue to cover the cost which the authority has been incurring. Now, the authority, where the authority is set up, is also such that the financial situation of the people within those enclaves are low. And so as a health service, there's also a limit to how much you can charge, because the authority also has a responsibility, some sort of a corporate social responsibility to the people affected by the operations of the company. And so these are fixed costs that we are trying to run. So if you look at our books over the period, I think we've come far. From 2020, we made a recovery of about 35%. 2021, we did about 45%. 2022, we did 48%. And with the current, this year that the auditors are in, we are doing a recovery of about 66%. So we are coming from somewhere, and that is how you see these things in our books. But we are very determined that within the shortest possible time, we should be able to raise enough revenue to cover the cost and also reduce the burden on the authority. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Is the financial status of the area you operate, is it going to improve? No. If that is the reason why you continue to make losses, probably you are not recovering full costs. If you are saying that in the shortest possible time, you make a full recovery, will the situation change? Will the community income improve to do that? I thought you talk about if the decision of VRA is to make the unit, which was previously under them, a subsidiary, a full subsidiary, what contribution is VRA making to the running of the hospital, so that the shortfall in the recovery should be supported by VRA Authority's corporate social responsibility.
Honorable Chair, that's exactly what is happening. VRA supports the company. Now, what the authority wants us to do is not only concentrate on in the enclaves where it operates, because even in that space, there's even a limit to which the authority will allow us to raise prices, because they have a certain responsibility, and the authority prides itself in providing quality care for the areas, and so it invests so much in equipment, and yet the people who patronize our communities, the income levels are low. Currently, Akosomo Hospital serves as the district hospital for the Asojaman district, and then the Abuazi Hospital serves as a district hospital for the Shama district, and so there's a limit. So what we are doing in the short term is also expand into areas where we can charge the appropriate fees, and that is where the management is driving to within the next 4 to 5 years now.
All right. We hope that your effort will yield good results, so that you don't continue to experience these heavy losses over for your operation. The next one, paragraph 542, Honorable Kofi Adams.
Chairman, thank you very much. The auditors found out that you were running a mortuary as part of your health facility without having the appropriate license from the Mortuaries and Funeral Facilities Agency. You accepted this finding and promised to work at it. Have you done so?
Honorable Chair, as at 9th November 2022, we are fully registered with the Mortuary and Funerals Agency. A copy of the receipt have been sent to the auditors. I even have a copy here myself.